Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just making a quick video update just to talk to all of you about certain things that just happened yesterday. So November 20th marks exactly 6 months since March 20th when we received our WARN notices. And it wasn't just the union that received WARN notices, it was salaried individuals as well. And over the course of the last 6 months, there's some salary has transferred over and so on and so forth. And so some of you guys were aware of that, but there was currently between Minorca and Hibbtac 21 salary employees that were on layoff status, temporary indefinitely, just like the rest of us. And so they were getting their own internal salary side of subpay and whatnot and their own benefits. As of on the 20th, exactly 6 months, they were terminated from employment. They were offered severances in lieu of service and some other, whatever the package is that they were offered, but they were given severance. And I heard about this yesterday. It was brought to my attention, so I spoke to corporate today and asked some pretty poignant questions on this because there's a lot of things that are going around about it. And so the basic facts are they were on layoff for 6 months, which is the industry standard. If you're on layoff for 6 months and they don't know when you're coming back, there's generally that practice of that's when severances and packages like that would come out. We have the same language in our contract at 6 months. And so the 6 month mark isn't exactly shocking. The one thing that is being blown out of proportion, in my opinion, is the statement that there is currently no plan to restart Minorca. And I know on the outset that sounds scary, but as you unpackage it and you've been listening and watching this entire time, nothing has changed. We still don't have a current start date. Currently, right now, there is no start date for Minorca, no benchmark, no timeline. And so after 6 months, the company just decided to terminate these employees. They did not have a choice in this matter. There was 9 Minorca salary employees on layoff and 12 from Hibbtac. I did ask because some of them are my friends. I worked with a lot of them. They're very good employees, and I asked if this means that they'll never come back. And they don't have any clauses within these packages that say they cannot come back when Minorca reopens. What was also stated to me that these packages were supposedly more generous than keeping on employees on subpay. And so they're supposedly going to come out ahead by taking these packages instead of just taking their weekly benefit and whatnot. I just want to make this very clear because I expressly asked this, and this is not because the company doesn't have plans to start us up in the next 6 months or any sort of time frame. I asked that specifically because that's what's been going around, is that these employees were laid off because they don't see us starting in the next 6 months. And while that may be true, we don't have any information as to that aspect, and the company does not either. They have no idea when the start date is for Minorca. And I'm talking about the lower level corporate management. You know, if the C-suite people that are in Cleveland and whatnot probably have some more ideas, but as of right now, they still have not informed me or the international on anything of that nature. They did obviously let those other facilities know, the ones that are being completely idled and shut down. They've already informed those to those people and gave them adequate notice, and we have not received that notice at all. And so while it's frustrating for all of us, for myself, for the e-board, for everyone, that this is still labeled temporary indefinite and we're not giving any information as to a timeline when we're going to return, it still does not mean that the company knows when we're not coming back either. And so these people were not terminated because they know we're not coming back in the next 6 months. We all believe, it's going to be hard to see us come back in the middle of winter just due to how we've idled the facility and the pumps out and all that other stuff. So it's pretty easy to see that we're going to have to weather this winter out at a minimum, but this was not part of the factor in letting these employees go. I just wanted to make this video quickly and get this out there because I know a lot of people are hearing this. We're all pretty close, even on the salary side at Minorca. And so for those employees, if they see this, I wish them the best. And I do hope that they return when we start up again. But I just want to make this very clear that Minorca's status has not changed. We are not being permanently closed. The union has not received any sort of notice like that. And these terminations of salary employees were in effectively getting 21 people off the books. And like I said, the 6 month mark, it was exactly to the date, November 20th, and 6 months for sub pay and severance packages like that is the industry standard. And so that is what I have to say on that. I'm still working on all these other issues. I've been out hunting too, so that my responses have been somewhat delayed, but I hope that all of you are being safe and are getting ready for Thanksgiving and also the last week of deer season. But I will be getting another update out to you guys before vacation payouts, how it will affect sub pay, voluntary layoffs, TEDF, all this other stuff will be coming out in the coming weeks. And so take care of yourselves, but I just want to make this very clear that this move by the company is in no way indicative of any status changing or some secret plan that we are not made aware of, to my knowledge. Like I said, I called corporate this morning immediately and asked some very pointed questions and asked what was stated to these salaried people, what was not stated, and if this was in fact stated to them that the company knows we're not coming back in 6 months. And they said no. It was just, this was 6 months, November 20th, from March 20th to November 20th, that's 6 months. Or May 20th, I mean, we got served a warrant notice in March 20th. May 20th to November 20th is exactly 6 months. And that's, the timelines match up. And so I even asked about this POSCO relationship too, because even the corporate doesn't have any idea how this is going to reflect on Cleveland Cliffs going forward after this MOU. And I'm going to make a statement and updates on the POSCO relationship and what's been told to me from higher level Cliffs people about its potential impacts on the steel and iron production within the company. And just teaser alert, I straight up asked if this POSCO relationship could result in more steel orders, and they did say yes. So they're in constant negotiations and agreements right now, so we have no idea where those are going, but I do know that Cliffs intends to try leverage a strategic partnership to get more tons of steel out of our mills, which will result in more ore coming out of the ground. So I hope all of you guys are doing okay and hanging in there. I apologize for stuff like this popping up, but I just want to get this update out to you guys so that no one's caught wondering. And I will reply to the texts and calls too as after this gets uploaded too. So once again, I'm sorry for just the panic and stuff that kind of ensued over the last 24 hours over this, but I assure you the local is working closely with the company and is still working behind the scenes on all the other issues that are affecting us. So take care and have a happy Thanksgiving.